Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Sum, and I'm here in this video to teach you about the basics of something that I like to call alchemy. That is going from lead to gold. But in terms of you are undergoing a spiritual transformation. And so, in order to do that, there must be some sort of process of self-analysis and self-awareness. The more we realize ourselves, and we realize that we have a dark side of our personality, and we really get to connect the subconscious mind with the conscious mind, we realize that we can ultimately change who we are at the core. And so, in alchemy, in personal alchemy, how do you alchemize yourself? How do you catalyze yourself, right? In terms of alchemy for yourself, I want you to imagine you are changing in some way. You're being purified. You're being distilled. See, there are different kinds of alchemy. One is an alchemy which happens when you are turning the bad stuff that's happening into your life into good. So you're taking all of that tension, you're taking all of that negativity, and you're turning it into positivity. Now, CBT has come from this. Many different people are studying these texts. There's one you can check out called the Kybalion. I really recommend it. It's one of the top texts by the three initiates, and it's based on a ancient, well, I wouldn't say secret, but it is an ancient Greek and Egyptian form of, it's a sacred text, and it formulates by talking about this man named Hermes Trismegistus. And what Hermes tells you is that everything is mental, everything is vibration. There are 7 hermetic principles, and you can look these up in greater depth. But what I really want to get to is how you can tap into your own reference experiences and become a better version of you. That's really what alchemy does. If you take time every day to breathe and just go internally a little bit and understand how you can change yourself and note it down, that itself is a kind of alchemy that you're doing. What you're doing is you're recognizing parts of yourself that you haven't even thought about and reflected about. Maybe you had others tell you some things about you. Maybe you're seeing the same patterns over and over again. It's about recognizing that and writing down things that work for you and writing down an initiative for yourself in order to alchemically produce a different result. How do you want to use alchemy? You want to use alchemy in the various ways. You want to be able to create. You want to be able to turn the bad into the good. You want to take the negative experiences and turn them into positive ones. You want to be able to sit down and recognize with yourself, how am I doing today? Why am I not doing so well? How can I change my mood? How can I change the way that I am looking at myself? Maybe you can look into the mirror sometimes and speak to yourself as if you would do if you were the best version of yourself. Whatever gives you the most core confidence. And once we can get to a core confidence, once we can say that we are enough as we are and we agree that we are already powerful, that's when it changes. There's a shift perception, let's say. You go through this process in alchemy, and it's kind of a, I guess you can say it's a maturation process. So a lot of alchemy is also about transmutation. So you start off at one place and you breathe in, you channel all of your thoughts and you let them go. Now, in order to do this kind of alchemy, you have to be sitting in a very comfortable place, a place where you can really click the thoughts that are repressed or subconscious. Now, a good way to do this would be by listening to binaural beats of some sort, or really just putting yourself in a trance-like state. This can be a kind of altered consciousness where you let new thoughts come in. and you are speaking to your subconscious mind, so it's kind of speeding up the process of fermentation more. Now, I'm using all these alchemical terms here and throughout, but if you truly want to find more about this, you should read some Carl Jung, because he has a lot of different metaphors and alchemical approaches to psychotherapy where he goes into depth in how does this really affect an individual, and how can we use alchemy and archetypes and metaphors and these things in our real life. Like certain people, like the person I believe Newton was also recognized as an alchemist. I think there were a lot of people who were very popular. I think the person who made the first working camera actually was considered an alchemist. So this is a kind of a secret craft. It was a secret craft, and it's still being taught. It's still, like, a lot of hermeticism has come back now, if you notice, in the new age kind of literature. That's what I'm really interested in looking into, actually. I've been reading a lot about this, and it's quite really interesting. I mean, Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus, what he really preaches is actually incredible, and a kind of self-help dynamic which really makes you think about what are the steps towards any kind of transformation, any kind of change. Are you accepting that change, and how can you transmute something? How can you break it down to its properties, to its source? Meaning that how can you exactly take your personality and chunk it until you have that one pinnacle of who you are. And sometimes we can also transform, we notice, by changing our philosophy and values and mindset. Now, by doing this, it takes a lot of work. It's not overnight that we alchemically just change magically, like out of the blue. Jung calls this process a process of individuation, and once you come into it, you realize that once you've broken it all down and you're free to lose and everything, that you're free to gain everything. It's kind of a paradox, you see. It's an unlayering process where you realize that once you unlearn everything, you can relearn the things that really matter to you. Now, alchemy has helped me in various ways. It has made me realize that I am not just this physical body. I am something greater than that. I am connected to everything around me. And if you dissolute, if you make me from a solid to a liquid form, you will ultimately realize that I am the same energy. I'm an energetic being. Atoms are energy. And so if you realize that you are not your physical body, it always changes. You are not your mind, because neuroplasticity exists, that changes too. So what are you? In fact, that kind of self-awareness that you are a spirit, that you are connected to everyone and everything, that some people might have this a different way of viewing things, in that everything happens for a reason, and that you can choose to grow, or you can get really challenged by the universe, and it might be overwhelming and you're fearful, and sometimes random things happen too. So it's really about figuring out an ecosystem and a cognitive basis for yourself where you can go and be like, hey, I'm a new person from tomorrow. I'm going to do this, 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 and if that doesn't work, I'm going to try something new. I'm not going to just stick to this one thing, and even though I might do this one thing and I get enough practice and hours, that's what I guess Gladwell says. He says 10,000 hours and you're a master at it. But I think if something is not happening effortlessly, if it's not happening by you just being natural, then it's not really, maybe the universe is telling you to try something new. Maybe the universe is telling you to tweak yourself a tiny bit. You need to have a set of open ears and be willing to look for the signs yourself and know, where can I improve? Where am I going wrong? What kind of choices should I make for myself? And don't let me tell you. I want you guys to figure this out yourself, because it's a big, big part of your life. And so man, you know what? I'm gonna leave it to you guys there. I've just decided to make this one video for you guys. I hope you do enjoy it. If you do, you know, press the subscribe button, press the like button. I really want to hear your guys' opinions. If this is too intimate, if this is informal, let me know too. Thank you for listening. Step your life game up. Ha!